Billy and the Mini Monsters. Monsters Go to School. Written by Zanna DAVISON. Illustrated by Melanie Williamson. Meet Billy. Billy was just an ordinary boy living an ordinary life until one night he found 5 mini monsters in his sock drawer. Then he saved their lives, and they swore never to leave him. We give you the secret Harry Snottooth oath of devotion. We're awesome. And fun. And scary. Are we scary? I'm not sure I'm very scary. One thing was certain. Billy's life would never be the same again. Chapter 1. The Hound of Death. Billy and his mini monsters had been very busy all week. So far they had flown to outer space. They'd practiced catapulting and chocolate thieving. Yes. Got one. And played a lot of hide and seek. And for our next adventure, announced Captain Snot, we'd like to go to school with you, Billy. No way, said Billy. It's far. Too dangerous for you and you'll get me into serious trouble. Here are some of the things Billy was worrying about. Captain Snot showing off. Fong Face eating everyone's ties. Gloop getting stuck. Trumpets cheese-powered farts. PARP. And, worst of all, the mini monsters being discovered and put in A. But we could scare off Basil Brown, your school bully, suggested Fong Face. He sounds nastier and nastier every time you talk about him. I'll show him. Billy shook his head. No one could scare Basil Brown. He's the biggest, meanest, baddest boy in school. He'd eat you for breakfast. If you leave us here, your new puppy will eat us for breakfast, whispered Peep. That would be even more dangerous than school. The puppy? Yes. The scary, scary puppy. To you it's a sweet little dog, Captain Snot explained to Billy. To us, it is the Hound of Death. Don't be silly, said Billy. I'll take her downstairs before I go. You'll be fine. Come on, Poochie. After Billy had left. Come on, Peep. But Billy said no. Fine. Have fun being munched by the puppy. He won't even notice we're at school. Ooh. We're going to school. What an adventure. The important thing is that we stick together. Pease Lake Primary School. Chapter 2. Out of the Bag. I'm glad the mini monsters are safe at home, thought Billy. I've got enough to worry about with Basil Dash. Arg. Oh no, groaned Billy, as the mini monsters scattered in all directions. How on earth was he going to find them? They could be lost in the school forever. I'll wait until everyone else has gone into the classroom, Billy decided. Then I'll look for them. Good morning, Billy, said his teacher, Mr. Parker, coming up behind him. In you go, please. Billy had to go into the classroom. But as he went in, something on the floor caught his eye. Something small and hairy. Peep. Billy quickly bent down to pick him up. Billy! What have you got in your hands? Asked Mr. Parker. Nothing, Mr. Parker. Show me, his teacher said. Billy froze. Where could he hide Peep? There was nowhere to put him, nowhere except the hamster cage. Look, Mr. Parker, said Billy. I've got empty hands. Outside the classroom. Uh-oh. We've got to get into the classroom to find Peep and Gloop. But we'll never open that door. Well, we can't stay here. We'll be seen. I'll scare them off. Oh no! Someone's coming. No, we must hide. Under here. Are you sure this is a good idea? We'll be fine. Arg. Uh-oh. Chapter 3. The Flying Hamster. Billy sat in worried silence all through the register. Then, Mr. Parker, said Basil Brown. I think the hamsters had a baby. Nonsense. Then why are there 2 hamsters in the cage? What are you talking about? It's true, said Basil. I can see them. Actually, the new hamster looks like it's got wings. Mr. Parker started to walk over. Billy knew he had to do something and fast. Don't go near it. It's deadly. A deadly hamster? Yes, replied Billy, getting desperate. I brought it from home. It's got, poisonous fur. You can't go near it. Don't be ridiculous, said Mr. Parker as he went to open the hamster cage. Billy gulped. He didn't know what to do. If Peep was found. Then he heard a strange noise. Slurp. Squelch. Slurp. Billy looked up. Oh no! Splat! Glip landed on Mr. Parker's head. Arg! Mr. Parker screamed and leapt into the air. Billy took his chance. He grabbed Peep from the hamster cage and put him in his pencil case. By now, Glip was oozing his way down Mr. Parker's back. Get it off me, cried Mr. Parker, jumping around the classroom. There's a giant slug under my shirt. I'll help, said Billy. He rushed up to Mr. Parker, grabbed Glip and darted back to his seat. Phew! A strange hush fell over the classroom. Basil Brown looked at Billy suspiciously. Where's the slug? Asked Basil Brown. Oh, said Billy. I'll, just throw him out the window. And what's happened to the other hamster? Basil Brown went on. It's not there anymore. The whole class looked at Billy. Billy? It was a joke. But there were 2 hamsters, I saw them. Maybe you need glasses, said Billy. Mr. Parker strode over to inspect the hamster cage. There's definitely only 1 hamster here, Basil. Let's get on with our lesson, shall we? And no more jokes, Billy. He still looked quite upset about the giant slug. I'm watching you, Billy. Billy gulped. Uh-oh. And I'm still missing 3 monsters. This is going to be the longest day of my life. Ever. Inside the pencil case. I told you this was a bad idea. Peep the hamster. I look nothing like a hamster. You should thank me. I saved you. Meanwhile, I smell food. Do you think we're near the dining room? I think I smell cheese. That's not important, Trumpet. The main thing is that we stick together. Trumpet. Come back. Chapter 4. The Flying Potato. Billy stood in the lunch queue. It had been the longest morning ever. He'd left Peep and Glip in his pencil case in the classroom. But how was he going to find the others? Then he heard a small parp, followed by a terrible smell. Only one creature in the world could smell that bad. Trumpet? There he is. Billy thought with relief. I'll just ask for that potato. I'm so close now. Too late. Basil Brown was reaching across for the plate. Now he had Trumpet on his tray. If Billy didn't do something, Basil was going to eat Trumpet. Actually, said Billy, in a small voice. I wouldn't eat that potato if I were you. I saw a, spider on it. I don't believe you, Basil said. You're acting really weird today. Then, to Billy's horror, Basil glanced down at his plate. As Basil reached for the lettuce leaf to look for the spider, Billy grabbed the plate. Trumpet whirled through the air and landed. Splosh, in the baked beans. The potato collided splat with Basil's face. Help, cried Trumpet, his voice a small squeak. He tried to swim, but the sauce was too sticky. He slowly began to sink into the beans. The next moment, Trumpet disappeared from view. Billy pushed past Basil and plunged his arms into the baked beans, frantically trying to find Trumpet. What are you doing? Thundered Mr. Parker. Billy leaped back, dripping baked beans everywhere. You are in big trouble, Billy. Return to the classroom at once. Mr. Parker walked Billy back to his classroom. I am going to have to talk to your parents about this, he said. I don't know what's got into you today, Billy. I am very disappointed in you. Billy waited until Mr. Parker had gone. Then he slowly opened his hand. Trumpet, he whispered. Are you okay? Trumpet grinned at him, nodding. And I've still got my cheese, he said. Glip and Pete peered out of Billy's pencil case. Trumpet, they said. Isn't this fun? Said Glip. Billy put his head in his hands. I am in so much trouble. Basil will never forgive me. And I've still got 2 monsters to find. What if I never find Captain Snot and Fongface? They could be anywhere. Back in the dining hall. I'm going to get Billy for this. Uh-oh. What shall we do? We have to find Billy and warn him. Trolley, here I come. Look! There's Billy! Fongface, where have you gone? Billy, I've lost Fongface. Chapter 5. Missing. The rest of the day passed very slowly. Mr. Parker was still cross about the baked beans. And the giant slug. Basil Brown was furious about the baked potato. And the mystery hamster. Worst of all, Billy had no idea where Fongface was. And he couldn't go home without him. Billy looked for him during PE. He wasn't in the school gym. But Basil Brown was. At break time, Billy looked for Fongface everywhere. In the music room. In the science lab. In the computer room. In the dining hall. Fongface was nowhere to be found. Finally, Billy went to the playground. And at that point, he knew. There was no escaping Basil Brown. Ha! Got you, and with no teachers near. Everyone gathered round. You lied about the hamster, said Basil. You threw a potato in my face. Now you'll be sorry. I have to help Billy. Just then. Aeoworg. Help. Monster. There's a monster on my shoulder. Ha. Ha. Basil believes in monsters. Fongface, there you are. Told you I'd scare off Basil Brown. Chapter 6. Bully no more. Billy found Basil crouched in a corner of the playground, hiding from the other children. Billy couldn't believe it. You're not at all scary, are you? Billy said to Basil. WHWH, what was that thing? Basil asked. He was still shaking. He's my pet. Monster, Fongface, said Billy, grinning. All the way home from school, Billy's mom told him off. The teacher said you got baked beans all over the dining hall. And threw a baked potato. What were you thinking? No TV for a week. But Billy didn't mind. He knew he'd never feel scared of Basil Brown ever again. As soon as he got to his bedroom, Billy took out the mini monsters. You were awesome. Can we go to school again tomorrow? Asked Fongface. Maybe not tomorrow. But what about the scary hound of death? Whispered Peep. I've got a solution. PARP. Captain Snot grinned. I don't think we need to be scared of it again, either. All about the mini monsters. Fongface. Likes eating socks, school ties, paper, or anything that comes his way. Special skill, has massive fangs. Scare factor, 9/10. Gloop. Likes eating cake. Special skill, very stray etchy. Gloop can also swallow his own eyeballs and make them reappear on any part of his body. Scare factor, 4/10. Captain Snot. Likes eating bogies. Special skill, can glow in the dark. Scare factor, 5/10. Peep. Likes eating very small flies. Special skill, can fly, but not very far, or very well. Scare factor, 0/10. Unless you're afraid of small hairy things. Trumpet. Likes eating cheese. Special skill, amazingly powerful cheese-powered parps. Scare factor, 7/10. Taking into account his parps.